Hi guys, Alec Peirce at Alec Peirce Scuba Tech Tips. Now listen, this is exciting. First of all, I'm not at home. As a matter of fact, I'm about 4,000 kilometers, that's like 2,500 miles for you other guys, from home. I'm in Vancouver, BC. Well, strictly speaking, I'm in Burnaby, which is like a suburb of Vancouver down there. Visiting, you know, Diana and I are traveling a little bit, having some fun, meeting some old friends and relatives and so on. And as it happens, I bumped into an old friend. This is Gary Mallender. And I've known Gary for about, oh gosh, 35, 40 years. He said to me one day, I want to start a wetsuit company. And I said, okay, I can help you. Oh, Gary started a wetsuit company many, many years ago, a long, long time ago, making wetsuits. Yeah, that's what wetsuit companies do, right? And it's done fantastic, really well. That's a long, how long in total?
40 years, started in 83, but started in Scuba in 72.
40. Yeah, so obviously he's been doing a very, very good job. Now his products, I should mention, there's a reason why his products, Oceaner Sporting Goods is the name of the company. Now, if you go into any dive store worldwide and say, hey, listen, I saw a neat product from Oceaner Sporting Goods online, I'd like this, can you get me one of those? Then they will contact this guy, and once he gets his act together, he will send one, and you can see what it's like. Great products. Great. I'm not saying that because I like Gary particularly, trust me, that's not the reason. But Diana and I, in all of our dive stores, you know, we had 7 wet shops at one time, and then we got rid of them all and built Scuba 2000. We have featured Oceaner products. Tough, warm, assuming they're wetsuits or dry suits. They're Tusa products because Oceaner a while ago became the distributor for Tusa products as well. Tusa, you all know that.
Almost 30 years ago.
30 years? My gosh, they used to be called Tabata, you know that.
Tabata, yeah.
Yeah, now the Tusa. And great products as well. Through all that time, we have always liked their products. Now, they specialize now at Oceaner in making a suit for you. But I mean, there's a custom-made suit. You can go anywhere. You can go to any store anywhere and pick up a $19, you know, thin, paper-thin shorty for your kids and jump in the ocean. It'll work pretty good and last a whole season maybe. But if you need something because it's unique to you for a unique purpose, or maybe a unique body shape, or you want something to be top quality, whatever, call this guy. He'll make the perfect suit. Different materials and colors and so on. They have camouflage. I mean, I'm a hunter. A lot of you guys know that. And they have, it's not tree bark, but they have camouflage suits as well. So special suits, that's what it is. Okay, now the reason we're here is, this is a wetsuit factory. And just as I did when we did the making aluminum tanks and what other factory, we've been in a couple of 3 factories that you normally don't get to see, you divers, my viewers out there. I don't know how many of you have been in a wetsuit factory.
Probably the only one left in Canada or the United States.
Is that right?
Not many
so
left.
this is where they actually make wetsuits. He brings in rubber and then he builds the suits. Many of them, he does a lot of military, institutional work as well. He actually builds the suits right here. Show us your fingers. See, they're all black from glue. Look at that. Anyway, let's go for a little walk. Seems like a lot of rubber, doesn't it? You have no idea. Another great big rubber. And downstairs, he has a storeroom full of rubber. Now, Gary tells me, correct me if I'm wrong, that you order, how big are these things you order from Japan? This is Japanese rubber, which, by the way, is the best. It's like Japanese steel, none of the best in the world.
Yamamoto. We use exclusively Yamamoto.
Oh, that's right. That's a big, big name. They're the Yamamoto is considered the best in nitrogen blowing, right?
They've got various processes. They got 5 or 6 different grades of neoprene. And we use, everyone's for special. Dry suits take one, wetsuits for scuba take one, freediving suits take another one, spear fishing take another one.
I know the Yamamoto name is big. That's what you use. And so within reason, if somebody wants green, 1/8 inch, nylon on one side, open cell in, you go and you pull it off and start making the suits, right? So just like those rolls you saw there. Now, these here's these stacks right here, Gary. These are wetsuits.
Those are all
the beginning.
Canadian Navy.
Oh, Canadian Navy. Okay, so these are for the military, and this is how it starts, right?
Yep.
They want 30 suits, so you stack up 30 pieces of material.
300 suits.
Well, you don't do 300 at once, so.
Not at once.
How many can you do? Can you cut at once? How many?
We'll cut about maybe 10 suits, 7mm suits at a time.
So you stack up, if I'm right, 7 or 10 pieces of 7mm, and then it goes into some kind of a jigsaw. and you have patterns. So this is one piece. Well, that's a whole bunch of pieces. So there's one piece. So there'd be 14 or 15 different pieces, right? And they all come together here, stacked up. And when you have all the pieces for a suit,
It's probably closer to 30 by the time you're done, because there's a tunic that goes with the top.
oh yeah, yeah. See here, you can see one of the workers right here putting a suit together using that. And are seams still all sewn?
Some seams are, some seams aren't, depending on what type of suit it is. Some seams have tape, some seams just have adhesive.
Yeah.
Some seams are sewn.
Over here, these are all your patterns, and this is one of your chief pattern makers right over here.
This is our tailor, and he's been here 30 years doing this.
30 years.
30 years
Right.
plus.
So,
30
so you know how to make a wetsuit, am I right?
He does every single job here.
Yeah. And well, I can see it right now. Now you're making one suit because he's only got one piece of material.
It's a custom suit.
Ah, custom suit.
Everything's done by hand.
I know when we had Scuba 2000, people would come in for various reasons. They needed a custom suit, whatever. And we would must have been 50 measurements. You still using that same chart?
Yep. 36.
36 measurements?
Yeah.
36 measurements in order to make a custom suit to fit, because everybody has a different body.
Yeah.
Not everybody looks like me. And so he has to measure them out and cut them out.
Yep.
Wow, that's why custom suits are so expensive.
Yep.
And of course,
It'll take him a while to do that.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because you got special sewing machines, right? Because some of the seams are
Some
sewn.
goes this way, some goes this way.
Yeah, that's because I remember many years ago, somebody started with this type,
Yeah.
and they were saying that's much better because it doesn't pierce the rubber.
Pierce the rubber.
So the rubber's less like,
Some are stretchy, some are stiff.
Oh, depending on the stitch. Yeah.
So there's bar tacking going on over there. That's just finishing up some
Oh, I know what you mean, bar tang. That's the end at the end of each seam that's glued together.
stop seam from coming apart.
Right, it has several bar tacks across. Now these are all special machines. Like there's a machine for bar tack.
Binders and bar tackers and single needles and zigzag.
I see about 16 sewing machines.
Well, there's probably, and we have backups for everything, so we probably have more like 50 machines.
Really? Holy jump! What's it called? Flat lock?
Flat lock. Yeah.
I think I've seen this before. Yeah. So here, Diane, take a look at this. Because this is very thin. So you're trying to make it strong.
Yeah, this puts the seams together.
So does this do? It does both sides. Like this is one operation, right?
Yep.
That's for the thumb, of course. So it takes this very, very thin, very nice neoprene, by the way. That's a beautiful color. Look at. And yeah, it changes color. And now this is cut off, or
cut off.
burnt or anything, Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. And this is
Threads that goes into that stitch. So it's a
6 threads.
6 threads.
Huh?
6, give or take. Yeah. So that's
And this is sewing like this, or part of
no,
both.
it's going through.
Both. Yeah. Look at that. Pretty slick, eh?
We're a custom house. We build what anybody wants. So
Right.
we do shorty suits and paddling suits, stand-up paddle boarding suits,
Kayaks.
kayak.
What about these wieners that go way up in the air on a sail?
We do a lot of kite surfing, winging suits.
Now the water's cold. It's Vancouver.
Yeah.
Anything under 40 is cold.
Yeah.
My opinion, anyway. And of course, I've worn some of your dry suits under the ice.
Yeah.
You guys here don't do that. You don't go ice diving in the
We
ocean.
don't have ice.
But in a good wetsuit, certainly in a decent dry suit, you're perfectly warm. People don't believe that. Non-divers, they don't believe that.
A wetsuit like the one you were looking at over here that is actually as warm as a dry suit, except for your extremities, your hands, your
Sure, yeah.
and you're completely unencumbered by the.
Yeah, it's so stretchy, flexible. Yeah,
Just like a skin.
Yeah, that's good because I've never been a big fan of dry suits. I've worn lots of them,
Yeah.
but they're so cumbersome. So get on and off and everything else. I say, they keep you so warm. If you have a good wetsuit, it keeps you as warm. Plus, in a
Dry
wetsuit,
suits are easier to get on.
but I came to this wall and I said, "What the heck is this?" And I thought you were selling cookie cutters. So I picked one up and looks pretty neat. But the back side is sharp. I mean, you could cut yourself easily with this. These are all sharp edges. So I figured that you could use this to cut the neoprene. Do you actually hammer this, or is there a press?
Big press over here.
Right.
Press to go GC.
Right, now you can't do as many pieces. You just do one piece of neoprene?
Oh, you could do 3 or 4.
Was that right, huh?
Yep.
And I can't even figure out, face seal. Good thing there's a name on it.
For a hood. Yeah.
So that's neat. So they're die cutters is really what they are. Yeah. Now, and there's all kinds of them here. So there's collars and collars and gloves.
Gloves.
Right?
Yep.
Different size gloves, small gloves, hoods, big, small. Now you would show me this one here. Explain this again. If somebody goes into a place or make a coffee.
Specialty work for people, and this is a pattern for a French press, a coffee bottom. This is the big one, and it's a wraparound neoprene.
Is that supposed to keep the coffee warm or give it a grip, or?
Keeps it warm. It'll keep that bottom warm for 2 to 3 hours.
I don't think I've ever used one of those.
Yeah.
But anyways,
We don't make these to sell them. We make these for
yeah.
different customers, and we'll make thousands of them.
Yeah.
Thousands of them.
Yeah, neat. And you were telling me that these are made by a guy in Ontario who does a really good job.
The dyes we get, the best dye makers that we use are in Ontario.
How do you, well, I guess it's on a computer now, the exact dimensions. How do you make sure when it comes back, it actually works?
They give us the pattern that they've cut. We match it with our pattern.
Oh, I see, to make sure it's right. Yeah, so you get a sample.
Yeah, they always do a good job.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
Die cutters. Okay, let's go. Now you're telling me about you're doing your own screen printing.
Screen printing, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at that. Logos on each of your suits.
Yep.
Largely because you were saying earlier, because your suits are very special, custom made, and you want the Oceaner name on that. Look at this, guys. That's that camouflage I was saying about. I may get one of these for when I'm deer hunting. That would keep me warm. Well, that's pretty neat.
A lot of spearfishers use
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
So it's 5 or 6 different camel colors, 5 or 6 different camel thicknesses.
Yeah.
Some with neoprene on the back, some with fabric on the back. So
You think the fish actually know the difference? Abby is the design guy here, and he decides, not the shape of the suit, it's got to fit the person, but the new designs, the new trends, depending on the fad and what people want sometimes, or what's popular. And check this out. Well, that's great. That'd be fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing some of these. So these will be on the website eventually.
First, we're gonna have to try out, make it, and then once we have those ready, we're gonna shoot it and then goes up on the website.
Well, now how the heck do you get that color, all those colors, how do you get that onto the... I can understand screen printing and put Oceaner on it. How do you do that?
that's the secret.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, I'll look forward to seeing one. You guys keep your eyes open when you see one of these suits. It will be an Oceaner exclusive. And here we are in the trimming, the sewing, and the making sure the suit's perfect department, right?
Yeah, they go over the suit with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that there's no thread ends, that the colors match.
Gary makes the suit, you see, and then Liz, this is Liz, happens to be Gary's wife, beautiful lady, and Gary makes the suit, and then Liz makes sure it's right.
Exactly.
It's typical, yeah. And then your daughter's working as well, I say here, a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's great. And Mitch,
He's been with here over 10 years, probably.
that right? Yeah.
He does all the social media, the online.
Right, yeah, that's a big deal these days. It really is a big deal. Just keeping up with questions and prices and all that kind of stuff. And then you have a couple other seamstresses have been here for 30, 40 years.
30, 40 years.
My gosh, that's what makes a company good. When you know that employees have been around for 30 years or longer, doing a good job, obviously, and happy in the job, you know you're dealing with the right place. Hope you enjoyed that. Just a little bit of look about how wetsuits are made. Now you have a better understanding. If you have some questions, get them into the comments, and I might refer them to Gary. He probably can answer them better than I can. I hope there's something in there that you enjoyed, guys. Okay, we may have some more pictures for you, and we'll talk to you soon. Alec, Peirce, Scuba. Take care.